news from our nation's capital, a group of Alzheimer's disease sufferers marched on Washington today demanding a cure for pancakes.
Until this tea kettle is cured, there will never be enough bread in the laundry!
Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia, with 55% of dementia sufferers being affected. At present, there is no cure for Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease leads to nerve cell death and tissue loss throughout the brain. Over time, the brain shrinks dramatically, affecting nearly all its functions. The cortex first shrivels up, damaging areas involved in thinking, planning, and remembering. Shrinkage is especially severe in the hippocampus, an area of the cortex that plays a key role in the formation of new memories. I started this project to try and discover what sort of person it takes to care for someone with Alzheimer's disease, or more broadly, its outward manifestation, dementia. I first examined an ex-professional caregiver, creative writer and art therapist. She now has given up her career to care for her father, who suffers from dementia and needs round-the-clock care. What was the catalyst that made you decide to give up what you were doing and look after your father full-time?
It was my mum's death in February.
Right, okay.
And which happened very suddenly. And Mum's death really was the catalyst for me to take a good long look at where I was in my life and what I was doing. And it almost gave me permission, if you like, to take a leap. And I wasn't being a martyr, but I was also aware that if my life had been different and I'd have stayed where I was, then Dad probably would have gone into a home. And he had to go into a home for a while I was just sorting everything out in Bristol and was really, really miserable.
The stimulus of my interest in this subject matter is my grandfather, Albert Jewell. He lives in Havant, South England, and cares for my grandmother with the help of government carers 3 times a day. She is entering the final stages of Alzheimer's disease.
It happened as I say, in 1941, and I was blind for nearly 3 months, and I was taken to the hospital, and I was working in the hospital then. She just started her training, and she was allocated to look after me because I couldn't see. And when I came out of hospital, she came and offered to walk me around the town where I couldn't see very well, and we just went on from there, and we've been there ever since, and well, we've been married now 66 years. Let me have your hand then. That's it. Let me have your hand. Okay. Nearly finished.
Do family or friends, do you think they treat Nan differently now that she's in the advanced stages of the disease?
Family, no, but people outside, yes, they do treat her different. I mean, friends I've had for many years, they just don't come and see her. If the phone goes, they'll say, maybe make a comment on how she is, but they never come.
A token gesture, right?
No, that's right. They never come and see her. No.
What about, I understand you used to be quite linked with the church and stuff.
Well, we used to go to we were.
You were the caretaker.
Well, I was caretaker of a church, and we went to the church for about 28 years. In fact, I sang in the choir for 25 years. Yeah. Let me have your hand. Let me have your hand.
That's fantastic.
I mean, this morning, she sat there,
Mm-hmm.
and she opened her eyes and looked at me.
You can stop if you need to. If you want to stop.
And what I read into that was, she thanked me for what I was doing. And she, you know, I just sit with her and do me bits and pieces and come back and sit with her, and it's that's life. That's my.
That's this part of your life.
That's this part of my life.
Do you believe in things like heaven and the afterlife? Do you believe that after this, that you and Nan will be together?
Yes, I do believe that. Yes, I do believe that.
And apart from curing Nan completely, what would be your ideal Christmas present this year? Take your time.
For her, just to say I love you.
So, you know, an hour before, Dad won't know who I am.
Mhm.
Who are you? And then sort of we can be talking about the follies of Gordon Brown, or and so I think that again is one of the difficulties of sort of living with dementia. That there's periods where people are lucid and you can have perfectly rational and relevant, and then there's other times when they're in a completely different zone, really.
Do you ever forget that he's got it? Do you ever get to a point sometimes where you're having a totally lucid moment and you almost forget for a second?
Occasionally, they're getting less.
It's good if the younger generation do understand it, and not just dismiss it as
Just
something
being
else.
old or-
Something,
Because some people think that dementia is just a facet of getting old. Everybody gets dementia, but it doesn't seem to be.
No.
It doesn't happen to everybody.
It creeps up. I mean, all
Because your mind is still very much there. You know?
Yeah.
My other grandmother's mind's very much there. You know.
This sort of thing creeps up on you. You don't know it's there.
You don't know it's there.
And all of a sudden you realise, oh, what's happening there? There must be a reason for it. And the reason is what happens in the end. They can't help it. It's just, and it's up to me or whoever's in the situation to help whoever is in that situation. I do get not angry but uptight when these people sort of give lip service to this condition.
Yeah.
Because they know nothing about it.
No, they don't.
You must.
I knew nothing about it
Well,
until I
they
came
are.
here. You know.
But you're the age you can take it in and work on with it. I mean, I think you're doing a great job actually. I think it's fine. It's and I hope somewhere online someone will see this, which you choose to let them see, and they'll understand it. That's right. Yeah. But I'm sure there are more people who could cope with this thing than even try to cope with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But some people just don't try.
No, you must try, and if it's worth doing, it's worth trying. And we'll go on all right.
Okay.
And I'm sure she appreciates it in her own way.
I'm sure she does.
I believe she does, and I believe that'll do me.